Hey guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts, and welcome to my craft room. Today I thought we'd talk about self-healing cutting mats. If you watched my how-to Franken-piece batting pieces together, I'll link it up there in the iCard, you've probably already seen this cutting mat. This was one of my first cutting mats. This was my very first cutting mat, and then I purchased this one. And I now use it. Once it started to getting a little bit too old to be using for cutting, it's kind of too small because it's only 18 inches by 12 inches. And you know, it's a lot nicer to have the 17 by 23, 24 inch mats. But I was using this one to cut my batting on because it seems whenever you cut batting on a cutting mat, the batting gets stuck into the self-healing grooves. The thing with the self-healing cutting mats is when you use your rotary cutter on it, it actually slices into the mat, but because it's self-healing, it will close back up. I don't know all the mysteries about it. I just know when I use this pretty little thing on one of my mats, it doesn't get destroyed. Now they do wear out and they do have nicks and grooves and chunks and whatever after eventually, and then you just purchase a new one. But I wanted to go ahead and see about cleaning this one. I've heard that you can go to the Dollar Tree and purchase one of these white erasers. Or, you remember the pink erasers from school? I couldn't find a pink eraser, but I did find these erasers that are scented, and I wanted to see if they would possibly work the same. And then I have the good old-fashioned eraser at the end of my pencil. According to the stories I've heard online, I've read in different blog posts, I should be able to easily clean this mat using this white eraser, and then I can save it and I'll be able to use it for years to come. In case you were wondering, these do have a little bit of a blueberry scent. They smell a little bit sweet like candy. But, I mean, they would be fun for kids, but for me, I really don't care, so let's test these out. Alright, we're going to start with the blueberry because blueberry bubblegum was always my favorite. With just a little bit of, nothing hard, not a lot of hard pressure. You'll see that, look, a lot of that batting is coming right up. These racers are a little bit flimsy. So maybe if you had the actual pink eraser, that would work better just for something being a little sturdier. Let's try this white one. This white one has a little cardboard on it, and it is a little bit sturdier. If I go ahead and do a little bit of a swirl, it takes a lot of the batting up too. I'm thinking what it is probably a friction thing. So with a little bit of a swirl and a little bit of pressure on it, that's pretty good getting that up. Because this, as you can see, there is a lot of batting in these grooves. Let's see what the simple old basic pink eraser on a pencil does. I think the problem with this that it is just a little bit too small to really be doing too much. You do have the strength of holding the pencil. So maybe if you only had a little bit of an area to do that, it would work. I doubt that the scent of the eraser is going to make a difference, but hey, just for fun, let's try the orange. You see, these are they're hard to hold, but it does do a pretty decent job getting some of this off. I'm going to go ahead and pause the film here for a minute, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time rubbing these with erasers and see if I can get to look pretty good. Oh, and before I go, this is what this one looks like. Before we get too far, I did find one of these little pink erasers. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same as a big pink eraser just because it's pink. And I found one of these ink and pencil erasers, so I'm going to give this a try too. So with the little pencil, I think it works just as well, no different than the other erasers. You have to remember this, the batting has been stuck into this for years, and I've used it over and over again. All right, let's try the pencil side of this eraser. Oh, that one's much easier. So I think it's going to have a lot to do with the quality of the eraser you purchased, of course. I just knew someone had said that this specific white eraser from the Dollar Tree did a really good job. Let's try the ink side. I'm not even sure if you see these erasers very much anymore. Oh, well, I don't know. I think it works just about the same. It is a coarser eraser, so it is pulling some of those fibers out a little bit easier. This is what I pulled out so far. Yeah, I think the coarseness of this might work a little bit better. Now a lot of this now is just the eraser crumbles coming off, but once you get most of it out, these do seem to work pretty good to get any of the extra out. All right, once again, I'll be right back. Let me check this out. So here's a little close-up look for you. As I said, as you can tell, I've put many times of cutting my batting on this little self-healing mat. It's still, I can feel the fuzzies a little, but I think overall, if you've just used your regular cutting mat and you've made a couple cuts on it and you have a little bit of the batting stuck in it, I think these erasers will do a really good job. Maybe try to find the actual pink ones. I didn't see them. Maybe it's because school's almost over right now. Maybe they'll have them. You can buy them on Amazon, or if they'll have them at Walmart or something at the beginning of the school year. But right now they weren't available for me to purchase. But I think just overall, any general eraser does a really good job. For me, I didn't see any damage. You would always want to be careful with your mats, but if you're just using eraser, I can't imagine there could be too much damage. But just like with anything else, you always test a small spot first. This is a pile of the batting that had come out, some more of the batting fabric, and some of the eraser shavings. But I think overall, as you can see, it's a really big difference. So when it comes down to, does an eraser get all the fuzzies out of your self-healing mat? I think I can say yes, that is actually true. That it does a reasonably well job if you don't have it embedded in for years and years like I do. Now this mat, as you can see, I did clean this spot here. There are so many grooves. I used this mat for so long. I didn't want to throw it away because sometimes it's always good if you want to use an X-Acto knife or something on a mat, or even just to use this as painting and stuff. So it's always good to keep your old mats. This one is actually in excellent condition. I just chose when I got my new one to use this smaller one to cut my batting strips and such. A lot of times I will be cutting felt, or anything that you really don't want to get on your good cutting mat, you can use a smaller mat for. So in my opinion, go ahead and pick up some cheap little erasers. Try the pink one if you can find it. Otherwise, any standard eraser does a really good job of just getting that extra batting out of your cutting mat. I hope that was helpful. Talk to you later. Bye. So after I turned the camera off, I did spend about 8 minutes scrubbing this with the white eraser. Now it still feels kind of fuzzy like a peach, but as you can see, I got a lot of the batting out, a lot of all those extra little pieces. I think if you'd have just used your rotary mat, your rotary cutter, and your self-healing mat just to trim up a quilt, and you just gotten all your batting stuck in it, if you took your little eraser and rubbed it out then, that it would take a really good job and get it all out for you. I wasn't expecting miracles with this mat. I just wanted to get most of it off of the surface just so that I can start using it again to cut more felt and batting strips. So overall, I think yes, these erasers will clean your mat. I don't expect them to be miracle workers, like nothing really is. But it was worth it, and it was definitely worth the $1 I paid for this eraser. Alright, have fun. Good luck cleaning your mats.